Smash Ultimate is weird. Smash Ultimate is a fantastic game, but just like any other game, there's mistakes. On this channel, we like to poke fun at some of the interesting design choices that Sakurai has. And in this video, we're gonna do the same thing. Today, I want to talk about some of the strangest interactions I've stumbled upon throughout this game's existence. Now, of course, we're gonna start things off with Steve from Minecraft. Now, I'm gonna be honest, you could give me an entire day and it still wouldn't be enough time to talk about all the weird things that can happen with this character. He can use his blocks to phase through the stage sometimes. He can cancel hit stun and become unkillable. He can block certain side specials of his crafting table. But one weird thing I want to talk about is how Steve can use his blocks to levitate. No, this is not a modification. What you're seeing before your eyes is Steve's true power. So how am I doing this? Well, the trick is simple actually. All you gotta do is buy a Nintendo Switch keyboard, and once you enter a match, type in /GameMode1. Okay, but jokes aside, if you too want to levitate, all you have to do is place a block on the ground and then stand right beside it and input Steve's up taunt. While he's doing this, lean your analog stick very slightly towards the block, and this should make Steve finish the animation right inside the block. And then once the block disappears, Steve will just ignore that and voila, just like magic. Now, it isn't like Steve can just fly around and do what he wants. The moment you try moving, he'll just teleport to the ground. But you still can perform a lot of actions while you're just floating there. You can go for an up tilt, an up smash, you can down tilt, you can shield. Probably the only character in the game that can shield mid-air. In fact, if you grab somebody in this position, Steve's up throw will kill earlier than it would normally if he was grounded. So I guess in a sense you could argue that this is kind of tech that can buff Steve, but when are you ever gonna do this in an actual match? Actually, I wonder if you can... Oh, dog, no way. Yo, new snake tech discovered. Oh man, this is revolutionary. Alright, next weird thing I want to talk about involves Byleth. Isn't it weird that Byleth's a DLC character, yet doesn't feel like it? I mean, what's up with that? Okay, but that's not the weird thing I want to talk about today. We're going to talk about Byleth's up special. Byleth's up special is a command grab that can send the opponent upwards, and when she does so, she'll pull herself up to them, and depending on the percent, she'll either send the opponent sideways or downwards. But on Donkey Kong specifically, if the percent is low enough and you use her up special on him, you can combo it into a neutral air. Now what's hilarious about this is that neutral air sends upwards, so she can actually combo into another up special and then go for another neutral air. And if you repeat this, you can pretty much just drag him all the way to the blast zone. Now this isn't groundbreaking tech, this was pretty much discovered day one of Byleth's release, but it's kind of comical that they've never patched this. So you have what is probably one of the silliest 0 to deaths in the game. But then again, this wouldn't be the first time a character could 0 to death you off a tether grab. We can totally count that as a tether grab, right? But speaking of grabs have a long history of being really overtuned in the Smash series. Either a character's grab is way too good on its own, or a character's grab gives way too much reward. However, Smash Ultimate now presents the opposite case, where grabs are now sometimes bad to sometimes unusable. All grabs have gotten increased cooldown in this game, and for many grabs, the range has been reduced drastically. Remember Marth's grab from Melee? Yeah, Sakurai wasn't a fan. When Smash Ultimate first came out, Marth's grab was horrible. Marth's grab was so bad that if Rob was shielding, he couldn't dash grab him. Rob, a character that's notoriously big. How do you miss this? And because Lucina's an Echo Fighter, she has this issue as well. And because Roy was originally an Echo Fighter of Marth, he also gets this issue. And because Chrom is an Echo Fighter, he gets this issue too. It's like Rob has a built-in automatic spot dodge in his shield against Fire Emblem characters. Imagine your shield can cover both grabs and attacks. Dude, that is so broken. Now, through game updates, this has been fixed and it's no longer an issue. However, this problem still does exist with Bowser. See, for some unknown reason, in the first few frames of Bowser activating his shield, his front arm becomes invincible. So now, instead of the problem being that the grabs themselves are bad, we now have a character whose shield is too good. Because his arm is at the height where most characters are grabbing, if you try to grab Bowser during the initial frames of him shielding, your grab will just not work. You know, the move that's literally designed to beat shields. This is why you might have seen tournament interactions where a player tries to grab Bowser while he's shielding and it just doesn't work. And to add on to this tomfoolery, the developers decided to make Bowser's arms ungrabbable. They're not invulnerable, you can still hit them, but if I want to grab it, oh man, no, that's where we have to draw the line. Look at this, what the fuck? So if you're standing right next to him and you go for a grab, it just doesn't work. Like, what? How? What is this? What do you mean this is not touching him? Bowser literally put his head into my arm. And to follow up on this, another character character that was hard to grab was Yoshi. Because of how bad grabs have gone, some characters used to not be able to grab Yoshi while he was charging forward smash. And yes, Marth was one of those characters that couldn't grab him. Damn, we've really come a long way from Marth's melee grab, huh? Thankfully, this has been patched, so this is not a problem anymore. The Ganon matchup just got harder. Oh, by the way, remember when I mentioned that they patched the issue where Fire Emblem characters couldn't grab Rob? Well, I got some bad news. Now nobody can grab Rob when he's flying. Something that still remains in this game is Rob's immunity to grabs during the first quarter second of his up special. Man, what's up with Sakurai making big characters hard to grab? Now, at first it doesn't sound so bad. I mean, how often are you going to try grabbing him while he's flying? Unless you're standing on a platform. But let me remind you that a lot of characters have command grabs, which is an option that a lot of players like to use in the air. So if you try to command grab Rob during the first quarter second of his up special, you'll just phase through him. So if you're ever off stage against Rob and you want to command grab his recovery, don't go for it. It's a trap. Alright, before we step away from the discussion of grabs, one last thing I want to talk about that I find hilarious is Ridley's pre-patch side special. Up until version 2.0, this move used to be able to instantly KO Sonic. Specifically Sonic. If you go on a two-dimensional stage, which I know sounds kind of confusing, but certain stages, such as Pack World, do not have a Z-axis and are completely flat. If both Sonic and Ridley are playing on a stage like this, and Sonic whiffs a homing attack and hits the ground, if Ridley side special Sonic during his end lag, Sonic will be erased from existence until he responds. Now this has been patched, so it's no longer an issue. Yeah, I know. There goes our one chance at making the Sonic matchup bearable. However, something that hasn't been patched is Dark Samus. This character has Ultra Instinct. Your whole life they told you that Samus and Dark Samus are the same character, but you've been lied to. See, if you play as regular Samus, you're at the mercy of Earth's gravity. You have to walk. But as Dark Samus, you don't have to be about that life. You can levitate. Now, the reason levitating is so good is because it comes with hurtbox shifting, most specifically against Mario. If you are walking during a match as Dark Samus, Mario cannot dash attack you. Seriously, he cannot hit you because of the way you shift your hurtbox. Naturally, this is also a problem for Dr. Mario, since he has the same dash attack. You can quite actually nullify an entire move from another character just by walking. So let me give you this tip for free. If you're a Samus main and you're ever up against Mario, pick Dark Samus. You're welcome. Now, truth be told, that might not be the most game-breaking tech, but something that is game-breaking is Banjo's Breagle Blaster. Yeah, that's the first time I'm hearing that name too. Banjo's Breagle Blaster is his neutral special where he basically pulls out his wife and turns her into an automatic rifle. I can't believe I said that out loud. But it doesn't shoot that quickly. Unless, if you go into training mode and then hold the special button to enter destruction mode, you'll then want to change the game speed to frame by frame. And then while the game is frozen, you press the attack and special button at the same time, and then register that as a single frame. Afterwards, you want to let go of attack and special, and then hold the analog in the opposite direction, and then register that as the next frame. You will then notice that Banjo instantly turns around. Once you're at this step, you want to let go of the analog, and then hold the attack and special button again, and then register that as the third frame. And then once you've done that, you want to let go of both attack and special, hold the analog in the opposite direction again, and register that as the fourth frame. Banjo will instantly turn around again, and in this position, you want to let go of the analog and hold the attack and special button again, but this time, register it as 2 frames. So 1, 2. Once you've done so, you can just repeat everything you've done starting from step 2, and by doing so, you have successfully turned your semi-automatic into a full automatic. Now obviously performing this in an actual match is humanly impossible, however, there are bad people out there, and these people have dishonest ways of playing the game. Because of this, you might find yourself up against a Banjo online that's able to do this. Yeah, this is part of the game. Because this is tech that's literally built into the character, it technically doesn't require any modifications to the character itself, just a person's ability to register these inputs. Now obviously this counts as hacking, so don't do this, but this is one of those things that actually never got patched out, and it never will be patched out because in order to do so, Nintendo would have to patch the character itself. And as we know, they're done with character updates. So right now, your best bet is to pray you never have to run into this. However, Nintendo has been able to patch out the next game-breaking tech we're gonna go over, which involves Isabelle. Now, when the game first launched, Isabelle used to have this glitch where she could grab an assist trophy and repeatedly summon the character, without the assist trophy capsule itself disappearing. Now, normally, you're not allowed to summon another of the same assist trophy character while they're active, let alone 500 of them. And in order to perform this, you would need 2 Isabelles in a match. It doesn't matter which stage you pick, have an assist trophy spawn, and then have the Isabelle stand on each side of the assist trophy, create just a little bit of distance between them, and then try to have them grab the assist trophy with the fishing rod at the same time. Now the Isabelle that's closest to it will grab the assist trophy and then be stuck in an infinite loop of summoning the character. This is actually my favorite glitch that's ever been in this game, and it's quite tragic that they've patched it away as quickly as they have. It would have been fun to explore this glitch for a while longer given all the possibilities, but I can understand why they would get rid of it so quickly. This was something that could break your game given how stressful it was on the Switch, but there are so many hilarious situations that you could have with this glitch. I mean, look at this. Look what they're doing to Isabelle, that poor dog. This is what you get for stealing my invitation to Smash. Going through all these bizarre interactions that existed in this game before and also exist now really puts into perspective how complicated this game is. It's actually a ton of fun going through all these glitches, and I did manage to get my hands on an old copy of Smash Ultimate. So if you guys would like a separate video where I just go over a lot of the things that existed in the first version of Smash, let me know in the comments below. I think it could be a lot of fun to explore what this game used to be like. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.